The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. From the heart of Broadway in historic downtown Cape Girardeau, this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted.
It's February 6, 2019, and you are tuned into Pro Wrestling Unscripted here on the Podzilla 1985 network. My name is Shannon Young, guys. What's up? Mr. 100 here along with you for another exciting trip into the wrestling ring of opinions and comments. Help.
Hi. That was a really you did a really quick moment of silence. Faster than anyone.
Thank you. That's Asa Gray. He's a five-star man.
All five.
Ali Abear joining us tonight. She couldn't make it for CCW Live. And it's good to see you. It's good to see you.
Thanks.
And then we got the Big D, Dalton Anthony.
Yo.
Tonight, guys, we have some news and notes and some important things to talk about. A lot of stuff coming up about this lawsuit that I just found out literally moments before we went on the air. So I'm excited to hear about it.
It's just now. It's kind of just now breaking.
Oh, I wish this was live.
We're finally ahead of it for once.
Well, except once you add in the hours it takes to film it and edit it and all that stuff. You know, whatever.
No, we're gonna be ahead of it. It's gonna post at like 10 o'clock tonight. We're good at 10:30, but we're fine.
Well, first off, we said we were going to talk about our experience with CCW last week because we ran out of time. Was that last week?
Yeah.
We'll save it for the end of the show.
Yeah,
save it for the end of the show. First off, we're going to talk about some lawsuit stuff. We're going to talk about Lucha Underground with the lawsuits, some important news. But before we do that, though, Asa, I want to throw it to you because I know there was something very cool that you are trying to be a part of, and I want you to tell the audience about it real quick before we get started.
Yes. So if you've listened to Nerd Up and or the last night's Nerd for Hire, you already know this, so you can like skip ahead 30 seconds. But there is
if you want to hear it again.
Kind of Funny is a podcast based out of San Francisco. Former IGN employees broke off, did their own thing. They have one of the best podcasts going right now. They have a variety of shows that they do, gaming-centric, just funny stuff, and it's a great group of guys, and they've built an absolutely incredible community as well. Their fundraising goals for January were met and exceeded by so much that they are paying it forward and are bringing on lesser-known content creators. They're picking 2 people to fly out to San Francisco, put them up in a hotel, and let the people that they select host a week's worth of shows with them. It's an incredible opportunity, and I would love to be able to do that. You
would literally kill for this opportunity.
I would take a human life for this opportunity. And not just because, it's a great opportunity, but also, like, if you've listened to any of the shows, you've heard me talk about them before. I'm such huge fans of theirs.
Well, I didn't know where you were going with that. When you said, well, not only for that, I literally thought you were going to say something like, and to satiate my bloodlust.
No. I mean, it's there, but no. So, it takes it'll take like 2 minutes of your time. If you go to either my Facebook page, my Twitter, or Podzilla 1985 on Facebook as well,
or my page, probably Dalton's
page.
I
know.
I've shared it.
I appreciate everyone who shared it, especially those who shared my original post with it that has like all the instructions and stuff. But yeah, go to it'skindafunny.com/up-and-comer. It's submit my name, Asa Gray. The website is podzilla1985.com. The Twitter handle is the 5-star man with the number 5 in it. And then there's a little section where, so if you've ever enjoyed what I do, either with Podzilla or with CCW, even like hosting CCW Live or doing commentary, things like that, just fill out what you like about me and what I do well as a entertainer. Is it my sense of humor, my knowledge, my passion, whatever, just things like that. The more you say about it, the better it'll look. And then I know listening this morning, they said they've gotten over 1,000 submissions so far.
Wow.
Because it's all just nominees. It's not like a vote thing or anything. You put up your nominee, they pick whoever they want to work with, and then they fly them out. So again, I know that we are still, our numbers are great and we're continuing to grow, but compared to like what some of the people being nominated who are getting like hundreds and thousands of, probably people putting them up and recommending them, my goal is just to be like, oh, this name keeps coming up. Let's at least even take a listen. Even if nothing comes of it, like just to say that maybe they might recognize Podzilla.
Yeah.
would be huge.
Which not
It
only
would be
helps
such a
Asa,
win.
helps us, helps CCW,
Yeah.
and helps people like Zane Laney. Helps, Zane Laney.
He can be a hipster.
I will
be
say-
like, I know Asa before all you.
Zane,
Yeah.
I will say your name on Kind of Funny. Just be like hashtag be like Zane.
Oh, pause. Okay.
I don't know what you just put in there, but I'm scared.
Oh, I put in say my name.
You better do it now.
Just
But
so
yeah,
you know.
That's my pitch. My Facebook page or the Podzilla 1985 Facebook page are probably the easiest one because I put a little cheat sheet of like, what our website is, what my Twitter handle is, all of that is on there. You can just, type in. So to everyone who's already submitted my name, I can't thank you enough. It means the world that you would take the time to do that. And to anyone listening to this who hasn't yet, but plans on it, again, I thank you. And this would be such an amazing opportunity that I am very desperately trying to not like get in my head about of either like, oh, what if I win, or worse, which is where my brain mostly goes of this name keeps popping up. Let's take a listen. And they hate me.
And they not only do they not pick you, they message you personally
and just
to
be like,
advise
hey,
you to stop doing it.
We don't want you in our community. Will you just stop? Like, hey, we saw that you're talking about going to the meet and greet in March.
Could you
Don't.
If you just want to like skip
and if you
that.
could stop creating content.
Also,
that would be
just
great.
delete your channel.
Well, that would just be pure jealousy and fear out of them.
But that's the thing that I love about them is they would never do that.
Right.
So, but yeah.
But if they did, that'd be the greatest story in the world.
And what's really
for
crazy,
everyone but me.
What's really crazy is for the next week, if you type in Asa Gray as your nominee from Podzilla, that will count toward any content creator that you like. So if you if you have someone that you're a fan of and you type in Asa Gray, it's like at Podzilla1985.com.
Yeah.
Anything will come to our email.
Yeah.
Anything with
Just
Asa's
talk
name
about
on
me,
it.
but they'll know you're talking
But they'll
about.
know you're talking about somebody else.
Snowbike Mike
Yeah.
or other members in the
Who
kind
is
of
Snowball Mike?
Mike.
So this Snowbike Mike is a perfect example of this. He is someone who has just been engaging in the community of kind of funny stuff. He's a streamer. Doesn't get like he wasn't a big time streamer or anything, but just being a cool person. They started kind of like talking with him more. Eventually, he started like streaming with one of the co-hosts and stuff, and like they just brought him on to host the show to like elevate his platform. And that's something they've been doing since like all throughout 2018 is it's just like freelancers and writers and streamers and podcasters. They're just like, hey, you're doing cool stuff. Let's signal boost you through our audience. And like he was going to be on again this week just because like Greg Miller's on vacation. So they needed people to co-host the show. Like, hey, come down from Tahoe and host with us. But then he got legitimately like stuck in a blizzard and was on a highway for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So if you
make it.
did win this, there's a chance that like I'd be like, Asa, let's do pro wrestling this week, and you're like, can't. Flying out to do Kind of Funny this week.
I mean, there's a like 0% chance of that because I also have a job that with limited amount of days I can take off of
Yeah,
work.
this is your job now.
That would be the coolest thing in the world, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Disagree. Coolest job in the world. If you were to say, and I know we're way off topic on pro wrestling.
That's fine.
If you were
Chicken
to say,
masturbator.
well, no, that is my job. If you were to say, Shannon,
Kind of funny crew, if you're listening to that part, you're getting me.
Yeah.
Not the person who just said chicken masturbator.
Yeah.
You just said chicken
Although
masturbator.
one of their bits is and keep fucking that chicken.
See?
I don't know.
And I don't
See,
even
and
I
that's
don't
the
even
thing.
watch them.
And that's the thing is I really think I would fit in really well with them and we would be friends.
Do you not know where the keep fucking that chicken comes from?
I've never heard that term until just now. Like
Oh.
my grandpa always said, "Who's fucking this goat?" But I think it's because he was fucking goats.
Allie, do you know who said keep fucking that chicken?
No.
Repeat it out loud and maybe you'll get
No,
it.
don't because you have to pay for that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, coolest job in the world, Josh Gates, who from Destination Truth, who gets to travel the world looking up like cryptozoology, hauntings, monsters, and stuff like that, and he gets paid to do it, and he gets paid to go to other countries and dick around. For
Any of
free.
those travel shows are
Yeah.
amazing.
I think mine's still a better choice.
Chicken masturbator?
Yeah.
What?
All right,
That says
let's
more
get
about
to
you
the show.
than the job.
Let's get to the show.
That's it for the pre-show.
We're we're talking about no. We actually talked more about wrestling on the pre-show than we just did.
We did.
In the 10 minutes we talked.
Oh, that's true.
Pre-show, by the way.
This
if
is
you-
old
if you-
school PWU.
If you like what you're hearing, Podzilla 1985 on Patreon, you can subscribe and get that pre-show, and we actually talk about wrestling. All right, we're talking about multiple lawsuits filed against Lucha Underground, and boy howdy, that does not surprise me.
This is a late breaking story in that like
Ali, you got here just in time.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it looks like there's I need to find that page again that I was on. But it looks like there are at least two ongoing. Well, not ongoing, but are being filed.
Right.
One of them is by King Cuerno, who's one of the wrestlers there. He wrestles as Phantasma elsewhere. Because Lucha Underground does that thing where they bring people in but give them different gimmicks and characters.
Like Prince Puma versus Ricochet.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
Jeff Cobb is,
Right.
Cobra Moon, Thunder Rosa. But so King Cuerno is suing because the contract he signed led to him missing other booking opportunities, which then cost him money. So he feels that Lucha Underground should compensate him for that lost potential income.
Right.
That one, none of us know enough about legal proceedings,
Contracts,
things like that.
You know.
So I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to point out that certain aspects of the contracts are illegal.
Okay, so before you get to the second part, and I don't want to break your concentration, but so repeat that to me again. His argument is that because he signed with Lucha Underground, he can't take other bookings, and that's costing him money.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he signed the contract, was he aware that he would not be able to work at other places during the contract?
I assume so.
Or is that the part we don't know?
I'm assuming so, but I think this may tie in. And again, this is a very this story is just hours old, and details are only really just coming out. So
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to find because a bunch of the dirt sheets are reporting stuff, but they're just regurgitating the same few facts over and
Right.
over. So I'm trying to find something a little bit more credible to talk about.
Right.
But I think what it could be is go back to a couple weeks ago when Elias talked about how she can't do things because she's locked into her contract, but they're not producing content.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say of just not a lot of TV companies are going to pay every single person on a show that's not doing a season at the time. Mm-hmm. The background people at Big Bang Theory aren't going to get paid when they're not filming.
Do you think there's any difference though between you say that, but let's say it's somebody like God, I wish I knew anything about Big Bang Theory.
Well,
one of the characters. One of the characters that's
Sheldon,
regular.
yeah.
If they couldn't perform in anything else while Big Bang was going on, would that be an issue? And of course not with them because they get paid so much for Big Bang Theory.
I used a really poor example.
Right,
for that,
you need a poor
but,
show.
Yeah, but it's one of those it's also super important to note when you're talking about a wrestler in a contract that you are paying for that name, and if you put that contract in there, you are paying for that name to not get injured in other companies. And that's I think that's what the big difference is we're looking at. More than likely, I don't know his contract enough, but if I was under a contract that said I can't work at another company, that would be fine if I am regularly working at the company I got a contract for.
Whereas there hasn't been a new Lucha Underground hasn't aired a new episode since November.
And that's what I'm kind of getting at. It's not like WCW where they were throwing money at people.
Right.
That's not fair to say when they were offering these big contracts that were guaranteed where people were getting paid regardless, like the AOL Time Warner merger.
Plus, they also don't even know if they're going to get a fifth season.
Well,
exactly.
And I guess,
there's a lot of it being I can understand. I think it's we were talking about it before we even did the pre-show of I am completely on Cuerno's side on this, but I don't think you can do it in a contract since I think you can literally do it in pain and suffering because you're missing out on money that you could be making.
Apparently, part of his argument, too, real quick, is that the Lucha Underground contracts are worth making less than $4,000 a year making $4,000 less a year compared to other promotions. And they're saying that that is a living wage. So their argument is they're being paid less than a living wage, and now they're not being able to.
Well, and my question comes to, I guess.
And as a result of the contract, Phantasma claims to have lost thousands of dollars as a result of the contract and is seeking both punitive and actual damages.
I need to know what the contract says. Because if the contract literally says you will be paid for the shows that we do, you are not guaranteed to do more than this amount of shows, or you're not guaranteed for more seasons, and he signed it, then he doesn't have a leg to stand on. Because if even if it's a shitty deal, if I put a shitty deal in front of you and you sign it, and then you complain later, hey, that was a shitty deal, it doesn't matter. You knew the stakes and you agreed to it. So if he knew that he would lose money possibly, and it's in the contract, then it's frivolous. Throw it out.
And I think that's part of the reason is it's because maybe that contract was if the contract is for a certain number of episodes,
right?
But now they're not producing new episodes, so he's just in hiatus.
Yeah,
I think it's focusing more on that, and they're going to try to find some sort of where this then voids the contract or invalidates or makes
if his contract says you were contracted to appear in 50 episodes, and they've done 25 episodes, and now there's no sign of doing the other 25, then yeah, he can go, look, we're not doing the episodes. I'm not getting paid. I'm not making a living.
Yeah.
But if it said you were only contracted to 2 seasons,
right,
and then you're waiting on season 3, but you're only guaranteed 2 seasons, and you signed the agreement anyway, then it's your fault.
Well,
No,
at that
and I know
point,
it sounds bad, but that's your fault.
Well, in that point, that contract's voided though. If you've already done your 2 if you've already done your 2 seasons.
Well, I mean, no, I'm saying if you're guaranteed 2 seasons, but we're
but you're
keeping you
stuck.
on. Yeah.
Okay, I get
That's
what
a
you're
weird limbo. And it sucks. Like, I'm not taking El Rey's side on this because I think it's shitty. But, like, contracts are contracts.
No, yeah.
It's a binding legal document, you know?
And then that's what I'm saying is, like, that's why I think that they're trying to disprove that the contract was either that they signed a contract that was illegal, or they're now trying to find ways that there should have been like an exit clause of being able to, like, no, well, now that this is now voided.
Because I'm also going to put.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to put money that they are also under contract as independent contractors.
Right. Ryan. This story was kind of broken by Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheets. So like he is top tier of like wrestling journalists for the most part. Obtained a copy of the documents, which states
Where does he rank in terms of Meltzer?
like probably less than. Like, Meltzer's the number one, and there's really no arguing that. Like, there's a lot of people who are just bitter about him.
Just shit on him for no reason.
But they're, he gets stuff wrong sometimes. Yeah, but he always, like, points out that he got it wrong.
Right.
For the most part. There's a story that came out today that I did not put on the notes because it's not a story.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to read. This is all a bunch of legalese, and this is from what Pro Wrestling Sheet obtained. Plaintiff brings this action seeking to invalidate illegal provisions of a contract between himself and the defendants. Defendants is enforcing contracts with plaintiff which are illusory in that they require plaintiffs to stop engaging in their lawful trade, while defendants have no obligation to provide work to plaintiffs and only have an obligation to pay plaintiffs if they are provided work on their show. This contract also violations California Business and Professions Code 16600 and California Public Policy as they restrain plaintiffs from working in their lawful profession. Those were their grammatical errors, not mine.
It's not like ASO was over there looking at these words going like, oh,
This isn't how this goes.
how do I say word?
That Lucha Underground has the authority to illegally restrict wrestlers from engaging in their profession in violation of California law. And then they cite ROH, Impact, WWE, and AEW as promotions offering wrestlers competitive contracts and keep them well played.
Meanwhile, WWE goes like, wait, what's Lucha Underground? We are?
Oh, okay. The payment per episode is usually less than $1,000, and that Lucha Underground requires that wrestlers not perform services for other wrestling companies anywhere in the world without defendants' permission, but does not require defendants to use plaintiffs in their wrestling-themed television show. So that's where it's getting real dicey. Which, granted, if
That's in the contract.
because they're saying that's what violates that California code. So
Right.
if that happens,
Okay, this is a stupid question, and I'm so sorry. This is a stupid question. Do they film it in California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was very much under the assumption, and maybe I'm a mark, that it was very much filmed in Mexico.
No, they
it's
filmed it in
very much
California.
So this is a
California.
California production.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a California. It's a El Rey and Baba G production.
So then it sounds like they very much could have provided these contracts that were signed, but the contracts are illegal.
could have been invalid. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they do they violate that
statute or whatever.
California
Yeah.
statute. Now there
which is crazy.
and just real quick, there is a second contract or a second lawsuit that's a class action lawsuit that's being filed by Joey Ryan, Elias, and Thunder Rosa Cobra Moon as well.
I'm already on board with her.
That one seems
I'm
to
on
be.
her side.
That one seems. The King Cuerno contract is separate and looks to be actually he's asking for damages, whereas the class action lawsuit looks to be more along. They're just looking for their release from contracts.
Okay, so with this contract, I'm guessing the contract was that they couldn't appear on television program, but they can still wrestle indies.
Right.
Because obviously Thunder Rosa, we just had her.
Well, I mean, Thunder Rosa's working everywhere, honestly.
Yeah, but
So-
but they're not working like televised. Like they can't go to
AEW
Impact,
or something like
WWE, AEW, things like that. That's why Joey Ryan hasn't signed with AEW
Yeah.
because he's probably currently locked behind this Lucha Underground contract.
That's crazy. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. So
No, ridiculous. Is that a stupid idea by these guys? It absolutely is. I would hope that no one would sign that contract. But you know what? I could absolutely see someone. Imagine if you're an up-and-coming wrestler, especially, and they hand you a contract saying, hey, we're going to put you on TV, but if we don't put you on TV, you can't wrestle anywhere else. Is that
that's
cool?
the thing is they never say that. That's how they got people like Elias, Joey Ryan, Jeff. Like they got legitimate big names who have been wrestling for a long time, probably have their own lawyers to look over these contracts. What they didn't say is, hey, sign this for X amount of shows. What they didn't say is, oh, by the way, those X amount of shows may not happen, and if they don't, you're just kind of stuck.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can still work the indies.
Yeah, but you can't actually, go somewhere else until you have honored our dates. But we don't have any obligation to provide those dates.
And I was saying, and we don't know what those dates are, right? Like, we don't know of okay, Thunder Rosa has to appear through 2020 or anything like that. We don't know.
This made it, and again, this is all just like a bunch of dummies.
We're guessing.
Yeah, speculating on legal stuff and contracts. This made it sound like it was by number of shows.
Right.
So not necessarily there isn't like a date that, okay, well, at least when 2019 ends, this is all done. They're losing a year, but
you're required
at least
to do
free.
the number of shows.
But if it's you signed to we're paying you $1,000 a show or less, but we're going to put you on 30 shows. All right, you sign on halfway through season 2, so you knock out 10 episodes there. Okay, well then season 3 is going to start, but there's a year-long gap between season 2 and season 3. That's where
you're drying up.
Yeah, that's where it gets.
Now, Allie, if you signed on for so many seasons or so many episodes and they don't air the episodes and you can't work at a major place but you can work the indies, solve for X.
You better sell a lot of T-shirts. That's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you would feel like, I don't know, you have to read the contracts. Like
you have to read your contracts. That is 100% true.
I've
learned two things in business and in entertainment. Always read your contract and never read the comment section. Real talk.
I have to read the comment section, though. I interact with the fans.
Ignore it. Do the avoid dance.
The avoid dance. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is kind of a breaking story. There will be more. We will probably have a follow-up sometime
absolutely.
this week.
Yes.
Or sometime this week. Probably next Wednesday. If I had to guess when we were going to talk about this next, I'm purely speculation. Maybe next Wednesday.
Maybe.
Unless something major happens on Saturday and we just override Jesse, that's not going to happen.
But I mean, in court cases like this, sometimes you can go weeks, months without hearing a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll keep you updated as best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were really spoiled by the CM Punk Colt Cabana lawsuit.
Stuff coming out left and right.
Yeah, by the hour.
In fairness, that was because the trial was actually happening then.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you could have those updates going on, whereas like these
Look at the
these
O.J.
kind of
Simpson
motion-
trial. Do you know how much time there was in between when he was arrested versus when he was tried?
I need you to know I was 2.
I was in grade school.
She wasn't born yet.
During the OJ, you didn't when he murdered his ex-wife and
clearly he didn't.
Allegedly,
He was found by a
Yeah,
jury
he was
of his
acquitted.
peers that he was innocent,
but then found guilty later for the
stealing back his own memorabilia.
and he was found guilty for he was found liable in their death in a
really? A civil suit?
Civil suit,
Yeah.
which he never paid. Boy, all right, let's get on with it. International Superstar Shakeup is coming April 15th and 16th. I have no idea what that means.
That's the WWE. So after WrestleMania, they're doing another Superstar Shakeup, but this one's international. So are you excited for Pete Dunne to come to Raw and do nothing
No.
after 2
He
weeks?
he won't be the one that goes.
Oh baby, he's losing. He's losing that belt to Walter that weekend.
Damn it.
And then Pete, and then him, and probably Tyler, and him, and probably all of
The ones that
Mustache
the
Mountain.
ones
British
that
strong
kind of
style.
appeared on NXT and stuff like that will
Yeah.
probably. But will he go to NXT or will he go to Raw?
No, I think he'll go to the main show. I think he will go to the main shows, and they will do nothing with him.
Because first week, guaranteed. First week he comes out, demolishes somebody.
Yeah.
Everyone's chanting. By week 4, he is in a romantic angle with one of the women, and by week 10, he is losing.
He's been off TV for 2 weeks,
and he's losing to Rusev.
Oh.
I mean,
I don't know, you're right.
Because
But-
look, they just brought up a bunch of people from NXT and are doing nothing of substance with any of
That's
them.
not true.
EC3.
They took away the last names
had
of
his-
Heavy Machinery.
Had his first match. Lacey Evans appeared in the Rumble, had a segment with Alexa Bliss. The end. Heavy Machinery lost their last names and are meaningless tag matches.
It's just Tucker and Otis now, which is the worst sequel to Tucker and Dale. Without Dale, the series is shit.
Okay, so I meant to do this because I wanted to actually go through over the last 5 years and find all of the people who have either lost their last name or their first name and figure out where they are in the company now. Because this genuinely, I get the feeling is, oh, you lost a part of your name. Vince doesn't want to do something with you're not. Vince doesn't care.
I can only think of one semi-successful one.
Biggie Langston.
Biggie Langston.
Yep. He's
Rusev.
Did you listen? He's in mid-card hell and he knows it. Did you listen to that Lillian podcast?
It was sad.
Kind of sad because they were trying, Garcia and Lana were trying to cheer him up, and he was just but at the same time, look at his transformation.
Yeah,
look
he's
what he looks like now versus what he looked like in that first U.S. Championship run.
Fat Machka.
Not even I mean, there wasn't fat, but he has slimmed in tone.
Well,
and
fat
looks
compared
amazing.
to what he is now.
I mean, yeah,
fat compared to olive oil.
What the hell does that mean?
Olive Oil was Popeye's girlfriend, and she was a broom.
She was.
Yeah.
She wasn't really a broom. She was a horse.
Oh my God, what is this show?
Just went full on Family Guy. I kind of feel ashamed.
You should.
I do.
But so I'm wondering if that's a thing of they don't have confidence in you. Antonio Cesaro, Rusev, Biggie again is really the only one, but
I like the
I wanted to go through
Neville. About to say Neville was actually kind of a big deal.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you Neville. I'll give you Neville and Big E so far.
Well,
but
Neville
again,
to an extent, but what would have happened to him if once Enzo came over and took the title and they had a great build? I thought it was good, but what would have happened beyond that?
See, the thing about it is they always treated Neville well.
The Red Arrow was incredibly protected.
Yeah, they put him he was in that SummerSlam match with Mel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was always treated very well. That might actually be the best one, unless you're just no, Big E has a record.
I think Big E is so his tag record is with the New Day. If it weren't for the New Day, Big E would be wrestling probably in Japan or something right now. New Day, I truly believe, saved Big E and Xavier,
and
maybe not
Kofi.
Kofi. I think Kofi would have stuck around in the mid card. He would have been a Zack
But
Ryder
he would have
type.
been doing the exact same thing that he was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
For years.
But New Day definitely saved Big E.
It revitalized all
and
of them.
Xavier, which is a shame because what talent.
Did you see that kind of behind the scenes story of when Xavier Woods was the one pitching New Day? He said, "Give me 4 weeks and I can get Kofi Kingston booed."
I did not.
Yeah, apparently, he talked to Vince, and he was like, "We can do this. I can do this. We can get you can get super mega over Kofi, who the fans are universally beloved. I can get them to boo him."
And he was
when
right.
there was no signs of him, the crowds turning on him, of being sick of him, of his act growing stale. Kofi, pretty much from ECW through New Day, was universally loved.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, hold on. But this is weird. Wasn't the only reason he was booed in New Day because the act was so stale?
No, that was because it was booty. That
The
whole,
original New Day was.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I mean. That New Day act was so stale immediately that people hated it.
They didn't like the act, but they wanted to support them. They just
it was so bad they couldn't.
They also didn't book them strong at all at the beginning because they lost in a random tag on their second week out.
Yeah,
and they had that ridiculous church gimmick in the beginning.
Yeah.
Remember they were in the church
Yeah,
singing,
and
and that's why that's still their music.
Yeah.
I need to go delete that Facebook status from a long time ago.
What was it?
I made a fucking 3-paragraph thing about how it was fucking stupid. I'm gonna go delete that.
Why do you need to delete that? Shane is gonna race you to it and screenshot it and save it for forever.
No! I have so many skeletons in my closet.
But
on Facebook.
Yeah, it's called Podzilla 1985.
Don't go listen to any of the old shows or the new ones.
International Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah.
April 15th and 16th. I think the only reason they're calling it that is because it's going to include NXT and NXT UK.
Yeah.
It's the UK.
I don't think they're going to send Tyler Breeze isn't going to get sent to NXT UK.
Oh God!
Velveteen Dream goes to NXT UK.
What if AJ Styles goes to UK?
NXT UK.
Holy shit! This is crazy.
I think this is where we're going to see that that super overload of, Fox is coming. That Fox deal's coming up. Let's put all of we're going to star-stud SmackDown.
Who would have thought that SmackDown would randomly get so many big names in this roulette?
This is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of names and signings, we got a couple of exciting ones. Jimmy Havoc, Phoenix, and Pentagon Jr. right?
Yeah.
Has signed with AEW, and that is a huge signing for all three of those men.
Yeah, and I mean it's big for AEW too.
Yeah.
The Lucha Bros are arguably one of the best tag teams, most exciting tag teams on the independent circuit right now.
Jimmy Havoc is an incredibly talented guy.
He's scary.
Yeah.
I think who was? I think it was Blue Pants. I think it was Leva Bates on Twitter was like, "Oh, I didn't know you actually wanted people to die." Like with that, like AEW tweeted that like, "Oh, so you want people to die?" I thought that was funny.
You've been next to Blue Pants.
I have.
Well, I'm talking to him because she.
I say, yeah.
I mean, I
she
also
touched-
have been. You were closer, but
Mine's on video. That sounded really wrong.
a little bit.
it's because what you said was wrong.
No, it's on video. Like you could go on
God.
Fight TV. And
I like this Jimmy Havoc guy for the record.
No, yeah, he's real good.
Yeah,
he's
scary.
he's scary.
He is crazy looking. I love the. So I can't have a sword, but this dude is sitting here holding an axe. Allie, why is that okay?
He doesn't wrestle in Missouri.
It's
There
a
you go.
wooden sword, and then I can hit people with it during the matches. Like some people have canes, some people have like baseball bats. I just wanted a wooden sword,
Sharpened or unsharpened?
unsharpened.
Get a Nerf sword.
It's a
Pussy.
practice sword. Oh Jesus Christ! All right, good on AEW. They are really stacking the
Yep.
roster. It is stacked,
And it's-
like Ice-T's wife.
Jesus.
Coco?
And it's one of
Coco.
those. It's one of those things too where they
Beware.
have so much time to announce even more people
Yeah,
but until their next show.
Yeah,
and and I think they're doing it well. Like they're keeping people like on their toes with these. Like they're spreading out these announcements really well. They're staying a topic of conversation. Anytime anyone's contract comes even close to being up,
Oh,
now
yeah.
there's going to be the
AEW.
the big rumor right now, and it is just rumor. You don't have it on here.
It very much is.
And so, like,
That's why I didn't put it
yeah,
on here.
take this with like how many grains of salt for something that might be true.
An entire mountain.
Multiply that. That they did say that a big name from WWE is talking to it. No one knows who that big name is, and it could be bullshit.
They is like it's what
like
is it?
one guy.
Wrestleverse or something like that.
But apparently, the guy did break something that gives credibility. But who knows?
They described or he called that they were going to redo the WWE Championship, but they also have a history of going through and deleting
stuff they're wrong
the
about.
stuff that they're wrong about.
I would assume that they've got to be talking to a big name WWE guys because there's so many that they could that could do it.
I don't think that, at least not in any sort of
Not
official.
the guy that they're mentioning though.
I also don't think that they're doing it in any sort of official capacity. One, because that's illegal.
Yup.
You cannot tamper with contracts. WWE got in a lot of trouble with that a few
Yes, they
years
did.
ago,
Yep.
and I know like they are going to avoid that as much as possible.
Especially because AEW has money, but I mean WWE.
But you don't want to get into a legal battle with
Right.
WWE. That would be
That's like the one
a
person that
disaster.
you would have to go to town on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I like the facial the reaction to when you realize you said that.
I didn't. Yeah, it's not a good thing. to
And
say.
two, like AEW has flat out come out to these rumors and said we are not actively talking with anyone currently under contract.
Yeah, because they
we are
can't.
not. We are not tampering with contracts.
Right.
Like we're not screwing
Which,
with that.
smart.
But like you have people like it's the Usos contracts are coming up and apparently they haven't re-signed.
AJ.
AJ Styles came out and just flat out said like he called out a news site for saying, "Oh, AJ Styles officially signs new WWE deal." He's like, "Can you send me the details of that? Because I'm not aware." Which is funny. And then like Randy Orton is the one that that you were building to is apparently he's willing to talk with AEW, and of course he's going to say that.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you position
Right.
yourself as like, oh hey, so you want me to resign? I like being home more because like from all things that we've seen, Randy Orton has become a family man.
Yeah.
And like you can see little videos and like behind the scenes stuff and like his appearance on Up Up Down Down where he just like gushes over like his kids and his stepkids. Like, and it's adorable.
the picture where he throws his is a frog splash. Like he wasn't just like launching her,
yeah.
but like threw her onto the bed to do the splash.
Yeah.
That warmed my heart.
Him RKO and his kids, like
Yeah.
it's adorable. But like, yeah, AEW is gonna pay me. Like, I could go talk to AEW, and they'll, they're not gonna be running near the schedule WWE is.
And paying me
I don't know
more.
why I'm doing this voice for
Yeah.
Randy Orton.
I wasn't
Well,
gonna
it's
say
from
anything.
St. Louis, so
I
it,
wasn't gonna say anything.
But yeah, so I 100% agree with everyone who's saying like, yeah, no, of course he's willing to talk to them because that would be a huge bargaining chip.
yeah. My favorite thing that's come from AEW recently, somebody did the Lisa Simpson meme where
Oh,
she's like in front of the
projector.
projector board, and it was just until I see a match card, AEW is just a t-shirt company. I lost my mind.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I could not stop. Like I saw it and just started chuckling, and then I really started laughing at it.
What about the Undertaker?
That's the one I didn't put on here because it's such a bullshit nothing story.
I didn't
You
even
think
hear
so?
that one.
Yes, I do think so because here's why. They
And also, I didn't say it wasn't a bullshit story, so please.
No,
save your anger.
No, and that's what I'm saying is because the story broke that the Undertaker has removed all mention of WWE from his Twitter and his Instagram account, and he put up an email for bookings. This is why it's a bullshit story. He's never had anything relating to WWE in either of his Twitter or Instagram account bios. He also has had that email up pretty much since, like, that's why he started those accounts, because he is now available for conventions,
which is what this is,
and appearances like
Right.
that and photo ops.
So why did the story even
go back a week ago where he had a picture with Eli Drake, and I'm totally blanking on who the woman is, but he's in front of an Impact drop.
Oh
like, a
yeah, I know what you're
backdrop.
talking about. Was it
And-
Taya Valkyrie?
It might have been. Yeah, I think it was actually. But yeah, so it's the reason that this broke is because it's a thing that Meltzer mentioned offhand comment on his radio show, where he's like, "Oh yeah, Undertaker removed his WWE listings," but he didn't because there wasn't anything there to remove. Like someone actually went through because apparently there's like an archiving websites where you can go and they've like saved images from past dates, and like very early on to his Instagram account, it's that email address and about just the official Instagram account of the dead man.
right?
Not WWE's Undertaker. So that's why I didn't put it on there and that's why it's kind of a nothing story.
And it was Taya Valkyrie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It was.
I went back and double checked.
I also looked at the picture.
But yeah, people were kind of freaking out about that. But then it was like, oh no, there's also a bunch of other pictures of him just walking around that convention where he was appearing to sign autographs.
Honestly, with the way he looks sometimes, I assumed he just was there wandering. Like he was unsure of where he was.
No.
He was waiting for his grandson to come get him.
No.
Jesus.
Should have retired.
No.
Yeah, you.
What? The Darewolf, PJ Black, better known to most WWE fans as Justin Gabriel.
I'm really happy it's gotten to the point where I have to think about what that name was.
The
Justin Gabriel.
Gabriel. He's signed with Ring of Honor.
Looking for that elite. So if anybody has it, let me know.
I love PJ Black. I always thought he was incredibly talented. I don't know how I feel about the nickname the Darewolf. Like, I don't know. It's just something weird about it. But he is incredibly talented.
It's werewolf, but he's a daredevil.
Yeah, he's a Darewolf.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. And I'm super excited for him. I think he was one that I think he of the Nexus, the original Nexus crew.
Yeah.
I think that he's because Daniel Bryan came back, and so I'm not really counting him. But it was him and Wade Barrett. I think were the two
big ones.
The biggest name, the most.
Yeah. He was my favorite out of the entire group.
Yeah.
Even with Daniel Bryan, because at the time I wasn't a big Bryan fan.
At the time, a 450 splash was an attraction.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of people doing that at the time, so he kind of was that was awesome to see.
Kinda
Seeing
pioneer.
it live was cool.
Yeah.
And he's just such a gifted athlete.
South African too.
Yeah.
Which is very, very cool.
I'm excited to see what he does in Ring of Honor, and I hope Ring of Honor.
Are you
uses
surprised that
him
he
well.
signed up with Ring of Honor, not AEW?
Honestly, I know so little about what these contracts are, and conditions and things that I can't really say that I'm surprised that he would sign to one or the other.
Mm-hmm. Well, he said he didn't sign with Lucha.
It's it's the thing where Ring of Honor is, I feel like, the safer choice. They are established. They have a TV deal. They're
It's
putting
not a
on X amount
fly-by-night
of shows a
organization,
year.
possibly.
And AEW, I don't think anyone thinks is a fly-by-night organization.
No.
But there's so much.
But they're not established.
They're not established.
Yeah,
And there's so
it's a
much.
gamble.
They don't have a TV deal. You don't
Right.
know what their touring schedule's like. They only have 2 shows announced. Only one of those has a date.
Right.
So it's. I could see it kind of taking the, and not I'm not trying to say this in a disparaging way, but ROH is the safer choice. It's the the guaranteed money choice.
Yeah.
So
like I said, it's established. Everyone knows it. They have a structure.
It's
you know
also-
what the structure is.
I'm also one of those people who the internet is a terrible place.
Yes, it is.
So there are people who are mad about it. Like, why wouldn't you? I can't believe you wouldn't go to AEW. Or people signing with AEW. Like, I saw people giving Jimmy Havoc shit for signing with AEW instead of like Impact or ROH. When people inevitably re-sign with WWE, people are going to be upset that they're,
they didn't sign with WWE.
Or Zack Ryder re-signs with WWE like right now. Everybody would go like, "Were you stupid?"
Yeah, exactly.
And he's
so
gonna be like, you know how much money I'm making off this wrestling figure podcast they let me do?
I can literally. They pay me so much. I could literally just go out and spend $3,000 on figures at any point. And my girlfriend's
Do you
hot.
want to know what he does? Like what he's been calling himself recently,
What?
Zack Ryder, the $1,000 broski. He made a shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees where he's laying on the table and Kurt Hawkins is rubbing his feet a la Virgil, and he's selling that shirt because that's how much money WWE is paying him. I'm not mad about it. If anything, game recognizes game. Good job. Like, he doesn't need to wrestle anymore. He's got it figured out.
then how do you recognize game?
Because he has the podcast about it.
And we have a podcast.
Okay, fair,
And
fair,
we're clearly on
fair.
the same
And you want to
level.
know what me saying figure it out works? Because WWE gave him a YouTube show called Zach and Kurt Figure It Out, where they just go and spend thousands of dollars on action figures. Because fuck them.
I feel like that is Dalton's version of my like Destination Truth.
Yes,
where I would wanna
Zack
travel-
Ryder is the
yeah.
coolest human being in
But
the world.
no, your dream job is chicken masturbator.
Yeah.
That's an option. Your dream. You could have just said Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
You get to
but-
wrestle and get paid to go buy way more action figures than any human could ever use.
And instead, you keep fucking that chicken.
You want to beat off chickens.
Beat it, beat it.
If Caleb,
Someone wants to beat a chicken.
I need Caleb Tripp or someone to make a sign for the next show.
It just says
Or
Dalton
any
Chicken
Stride
Masturbator.
fans. No, because we want it to be able to make it inside. It's a family show.
Okay.
Just like not the DX like Vince Hart's Roosters, but like just like a chicken, like Dalton Hart's chicken tendies.
Draw a picture of a chicken walking into a door,
Someone-
and then the darkened room, Dalton's in there with putting a glove on,
If people-
and the chicken looks distressed.
If people will just bring him chicken nuggets like from McDonald's, like
If
to
you
the
could
show.
chant chicken nuggets at him,
Oh my
Oh man,
god.
if it wasn't for the fact that the grease would stain the ring mat further, Marco gets fun-sized candy bars thrown at him.
chicken nuggets.
Chicken McNuggets.
Yeah.
I have been on this show for 3 years, and I never thought I would get Asa to say the phrase, you want to beat off chickens.
None of us ever thought he'd have to say that about you.
Yeah, no, I didn't
that's a
think
bad sign.
when I introduced you to the Podzilla crew.
He never
when I
thought
brought you in to listen to us record, and you sat at the table. I didn't think I was gonna have to then like
Talk about chicken.
talk about
beatings.
how and why am I the one that's like, oh, I can't believe Asa would say that phrase. You said the phrase, the dream job, best job ever is chicken masturbator.
I know, but you said beat off chickens, and
Where
that's
do you
superiorly more funny.
learn about that job?
I think I heard that from a comedy bit at one point in my life. Yeah.
So
to find better
Katsuya
comedy.
Shut up, Allie.
Katsuya Kitamura. I can't. Katsuya Kitamura. Fuck. You got me thinking about chickens now. He left.
See, it's a good job.
He left New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, and it seems like he's headed somewhere in America. He hasn't said like if he's just going to do like indie scene or
Maybe he finally fled Japan to get that dream job in the United States of masturbating chickens.
So he could like this is one where like Kushida for all intents and purposes is going to. I don't like that you're whispering to each other now. that greatly upsets me. He could end up like joining Kushida in NXT. Maybe he could be just hitting the indies. He could end up signing with like ROH or AEW.
Yes.
But
It's a joke that I could not say on the air.
I was gonna let Dalton because I figured Dalton knows more about him than I do. So I was gonna actually let him talk.
Dalton
but
is red.
No, it's exciting that he might be coming to the States, though. I like
Yeah.
whenever Japanese talent comes over. Like, I'm just not WWE.
You
Because
sure they just put him in the role and then Vince calls him a Deo the entire time?
that's substantially worse.
there's a 60% chance he'll get teamed with Rusev too.
Yeah.
Well, he's foreign, right? Yeah.
They have to get along.
They have to get along. The enemy of my friend is my enemy or something. Let's move on. Impact teases former world champion. Do we know who it is?
No, they so basically they sent out a tweet saying that at their April 4th show, a former world champion will make their return to Impact. And someone on Reddit actually like took so assuming that this means it's a former Impact world champion
Yeah.
and not just like there was a former
World
champion from another promotion who also used to be at Impact. Like they went through and kind of found like who is currently signed places that can't appear, that wouldn't be able to appear. And that list is Ken Shamrock, Raven, RVD, Ken Anderson. I'm totally blanking on his first name.
What's his last name?
Storm. James Storm.
Storm.
Jesus Christ. My brain turned off entirely. I kept thinking James was like, James isn't right. James Storm, Austin Aries, Nick Aldis, and Alberto Del Rio.
So speaking of Austin Aries, did we ever get closure on what happened with him and John Morrison?
He wrestled like 3 more times after that, and then he hasn't really been working.
That's weird.
Yeah, so
that's really weird.
Yeah, so that's kind of a weird thing because he like dropped one of the other championships that he held to that promotion.
Yeah,
and then he had like a couple other matches, I think,
but not in Impact.
Because that was one of the things. No, he has not been on Impact since that.
It's weird, man.
Since he lost the title. Because again, on this Reddit thread, which that's why I love the internet sometimes, is because they know all these things that like.
Right.
I would have never even thought to ask about.
Right.
So, clearly, people are very upset at the idea that it could be ADR, Aries, or Anderson.
Why Anderson? Did he leave on bad terms?
Apparently. Also, I think the internet just doesn't like him as a performer because internet. But the leading theory that people seem to be the most excited for is Ken Shamrock, because he was NWA champion under TNA. But also apparently he has just announced that like he's making a comeback.
He has, I literally there was like he has been doing matches.
Yeah,
he's already
doing
started?
MMA stuff.
Yep.
Or
Okay.
is it MMA
No,
or is it
it-
wrestling?
He was at
It's
like
wrestling.
he was like at a bar wrestling show.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if it was bar wrestling, but it was a bar show.
Yeah. So it's
Shamrock was always one of my favorites from the Attitude Era. He really was. I thought he was great.
Remember, I got super excited whenever they announced his elite.
My favorite Shamrock moment.
I have it.
well, no, not that. Just I had a thought, but go ahead.
I'll say when he is feuding. I think he was feuding with Val Venus, and Val was with his sister Ryan, who I miss Ryan. I thought she was cool. But anyway,
Okay, X-Pac.
and he looks at her and she's supposed to slap him, and she's not, and he literally is getting in her face and audibly on camera, right in front of the camera, goes, "Slap me," and she slaps him. Oh, that's bad. That's cringy. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
It could be the year of our Lord 2019, and we could end up somewhere down the line getting Ken Shamrock versus PCO.
Oh God, I want it.
Wait, so Impact's announcing a former world champion, right?
Yeah.
Was Hogan ever champion?
No.
Darn.
But I also think that
Was he?
Was he?
I don't think he was. But he's also currently signed to WWE, because that's one of the things that they went through when whoever made this list. They took out people like Bully Ray, who signed to ROH,
the Legends contracts and stuff like that.
You know, the 12 now former world champions that are currently on WWE TV.
right, that were in the Rumble.
Eric Young, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe,
Bobby
Jeff
Roode.
Jarrett,
Bobby Roode, EC3,
AJ Styles.
I can't believe I didn't say that one.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, there's like
You
there.
think he said it
I
first?
thought he did.
He may have.
I don't listen to him when he talks. But yeah, there's a bunch of
Jeff Jarrett.
He said Jeff
They
Jarrett.
said
Mother
Jeff
F.
No, he said Jeff Hardy.
No, I said Jeff Jarrett. Also Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Did no one say Jeff Hardy?
Matt Hardy.
I claimed it.
No.
Yeah. So they kind of like went through and found the people who actually could like make that appearance.
Bobby
Right.
Lashley.
But it'll be
Damn.
cool to see like it could be cool to see who they get back.
Or it could be the worst.
Or it could be,
answer.
like Alberto Del Rio again.
Oh, please God, no.
Yeah.
Speaking of please God, no. WWE is returning allegedly. I don't know if it's official yet, to Saudi Arabia on May 3rd for the third Sweet Blood Money show.
Of a 10-year contract. So
Unless they
We're
start
not-
chopping reporters' heads off on camera, we're gonna keep dealing with this.
well,
Yeah.
And even then, he'd spin it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what kind of
Reaction.
not reaction, because we know the reaction, but it'll be interesting to see how they try to advertise
about
and
it.
spin this one.
Well,
Because it'll be
all right,
after
so-
it'll be after Mania, it'll be after the Superstar Shakeup and
Do,
everything.
do you think, legitimate question, do you think that enough time, and this is sad, but do you think enough time has passed since the journalist was murdered that the crowd will be more forgiving of WWE when they announce it?
I
Or do you
think-
think that they will still shit on it?
the general audience possibly? Like
That's
just being
fair,
like because you have to admit some of that was because it was recent, it was still in the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was.
But now that if assuming Saudi Arabia doesn't, they aren't like a hot topic of discussion,
Right.
I think that they may see how they may test the waters and talk about, oh, we're doing whatever the name of the event is, but not like kind of like do the inverse of what Crown Jewel was, where they were hitting Saudi Arabia hard, saying it every week, to nope, Crown Jewel happening this week on the WWE Network at this time.
From where?
I think we could
don't worry about it.
I think we could get the opposite, where it's like, hey, we're doing Crown Jewel 2, the greaterest
Jewel.
Greaterest.
Yeah, with 80 men. Just, whatever. Like, they may start there and then slowly build their way up to where they will start saying, where it's actually being broadcast from on TV, just to gauge that crowd reaction. But again, if that backlash, which don't get me wrong, like, I fully expect there to still be backlash against it, but
not as much.
But I don't think it'll be near as much, and again, they clearly don't care.
It's a 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have already forgotten that happened, which is sad
because
there were no consequences.
It was like October 2nd or 4th.
It was right before the last.
No, it was
show.
legit October 2nd or 4th because it was either the day before or the day after my birthday. That's literally the only reason I remember the exact date.
We'll keep you up to date on that, of course. Dave Meltzer has speculated that the Jericho-Lesnar tweets that we talked about last week, I believe, are meant to build interest in a match between the two, which interests me because I forgot that Lesnar technically is up for re-signing soon, right?
Yep.
So he could be another guy that I don't think.
And that was another rumor from last week that we didn't talk about, just because we cannot keep up with all of the potential rumors, because that's going to be the entire hour of the show.
Yeah.
But like Lesnar and Heyman, apparently they are not negotiating, but they're in talks to be in
There's
talks
feelers.
because once a contract, because we talk about like not being able to tamper with contracts, but like at a certain point in the contract, that's when the negotiations can open up, because you can't just be like.
You can't wait till the contract to expire.
You can't just wait for you to be out of a job before you can start looking at other options.
I also think that Brock Lesnar is the only person that if Vince walked up to him a year before his contract's up and said, "Hey, are you talking to AEW?" He would go, "Yeah, bitch." And Vince would bow down and go, "Oh."
Did you guys watch the 24/7 or like the 24 thing
where he
threw
threw
the belt? It's like Jesus Christ.
So that wasn't like a gimmick thing.
I don't know. Either way, if it was shoot or work,
it's that new kayfabe thing of it was filmed. So
is it real?
Yeah, but
because I'm pretty sure you can hear Vince in it say asshole. Like he calls him an asshole.
Again, if you throw like a 10-pound belt at my head that has sharp edges, I don't care if I'm supposed to know it's coming or not. I'm calling you an asshole.
Especially if it's in the back.
Yeah.
Like, if it's on screen and it's part of the story.
See, but that's the thing is they filmed it.
Yeah, it was filmed.
This was filmed for this, and it's those the WWE Chronicles that are half in.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, it's hard to gauge, because, like, that was a rumor, is that he, like, remember when that was the rumor, is after 34, he threw the belt at Vince.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, wish we had video of that, and then we got it.
Yeah,
and it was everything I wanted and more.
But now it turns into, okay, well, he did it, but so did he do it because it was being filmed, and it was all just like, He didn't break character until after like he got back to his locker room, or was it just like no? He was genuinely very upset at the crowd reaction to the match, the whatever. Like
which
all
match
this
was it
complaints.
again?
That was the main event of
Mania.
WrestleMania that we were at,
Yeah.
where the crowd was merciless because it was a match they didn't want to see, and it was just
Roman versus Brock.
Roman kicking out of 12 F5s.
Yeah, it was either booing or leaving.
Yep.
Allie, I'm going to address this to you so you don't fall asleep. Are you interested in seeing Brock Lesnar versus Chris Jericho?
Not really, just because I'm not really interested in Brock Lesnar.
I think that's a good answer.
See, but I would almost disagree, because I feel like we would get more out of Lesnar versus Jericho at AEW than what they have him do at WWE.
They would certainly pay him more for a one match. Oh no, that con money.
That's fair.
Yeah, if they could.
They're paying Chris Jericho more than he ever made at WWE. So
I mean, think about this.
Reportedly, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what he was saying.
To be fair, Brock Lesnar is like shit on him all you want, and we do, but he is top guy. Like he is an attraction for a reason. If you can sign him away from WWE to have a dream match with Chris Jericho, huge coup. They would, and if you have that much money, take money. Just take it.
Yep,
take it.
So and that's actually kind of like that. Actually makes a lot of sense. Of like why he would kind of do that kind of uncharacteristic, just like
because then he could go back to WWE. He could do one match in AEW against Jericho, sell, make $1 billion,
right?
And then Vince would welcome him back with open arms in WWE.
An open wallet.
Yeah,
especially if he played it to where you stole me away from them.
Yeah.
Again, there was a Facebook memory I had from a couple years ago where it was Brock Lesnar is walking with the kind of walking like a man who knows that two multi-billion-dollar corporations are about to go into a bidding war for him.
Yeah,
because that was whenever he was either going to work with WWE or he's going to go back to UFC, and it's just kind of like, okay, here we are again potentially. So
yeah, except now there's a third party.
Yeah,
UFC, WWE,
and
AEW, PZ85.
No.
we can't afford. We couldn't afford to like have him ship his like
8 by
waist.
10.
We
Yeah.
couldn't afford the phone call.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's on the phone, so hang up. Tell him we're not here.
No,
Turn the
because
lights
then he'd
off.
be mad that he walked all the way to his mailbox for nothing.
That's still my favorite Brock Lesnar story. That will forever be my favorite Brock Lesnar story. He
But-
keeps
so-
his cell phone in his mailbox, which is a mile away from his house.
So that makes sense that could be, you know, Jericho drumming up interest. That could also then kind of play into the like him shitting on Zack Ryder and Tyler Breeze, just like, oh well, what if that was like a because Jericho is a friggin' brilliant person.
He's a mastermind.
Yeah,
he's a
I had-
master manipulator.
and that's why we were talking about it.
chicken manipulator.
No.
It's where you manipulate the chickens into
Is that the same as
no. Or you're not gonna say the word now?
no?
Oh. Anyway,
Allie's so disappointed in you.
Oh, masturbate chickens.
Oh my
I
god.
don't.
that's
I
why.
personally, I don't want to see Lesnar versus Jericho either. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Something about Lesnar is scummy to me now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got a stink on him, and I can't get rid of that stink.
He's got a stink on him.
He's got a stink. It's a red aura
Mm-hmm.
stink. It's hard to describe. Last thing before we get to the recaps. Seth Rollins apparently injured.
Yes.
Or is definitely injured. I also read that Sasha Banks is injured. She's not cleared to wrestle really.
Yep.
Um,
Which is weird because they say it's like she's not even cleared for minimal contact, but then she like did stuff on Raw. Like granted, she kind of just got dragged around and like took some stomps,
yeah.
Yeah.
but I feel like that I don't know.
That's minimal contact.
Right, you would think,
Yeah.
but so I don't know. That one's I hope not because it kind of seems like they play a huge part of
They're building the tag division for them pretty much.
yeah.
If and I guarantee you now at this point Sasha and Bayley don't win.
See, and the thing that I kind of think, and like it's not, this isn't a unique thought. I'm sure like half the people listening also think. I almost think that is just it's such a given that we're finally going to get the full dastardly, absolutely evil Sasha heel turn
Yeah.
at
Hope
Elimination
so.
Chamber.
It makes sense.
And that like so that you know so that ends up with like the Iconics or Riot Squad or whoever else is in that match to win it, to win the to be the first champions.
now what's up with
That
with
said,
Seth? With
that's-
Sethy?
that said, I still want that image of all four of the horsewomen ending Mania with
All
the
the belts?
championship. Yeah. Seth Rollins. I couldn't find what the actual injury was, but apparently he's going to be on. He will still be appearing on Raw. He just won't be wrestling for a month.
So minor.
Yeah. So
injury.
something like I think. Oh no, it was a knee. It's something with his knee.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's starting to really
Yeah,
like, suck.
that injured knee of Seth Rollins that they won't shut the fuck up about every show.
Well, it's been injured for like 3 years.
Yeah, because they keep attacking it. How is it supposed to heal properly if they keep targeting that surgically repaired knee of Seth Rollins?
We need officials.
If you have surgery on the knee, that's it. It's never going to be at 100% again.
No.
and it's always just going to be that glowing red weak spot.
yeah, it literally pulsates
But so yeah, he's still going to be.
like a chicken's hot spot.
Oh my god, I hate.
Oh,
this
that's where
bit.
you met.
He wasn't on Raw this week. He's still going to be appearing on Raw, but just he probably won't be wrestling. And apparently, like the plan for Fastlane, or is that the next pay-per-view?
Yes.
Apparently, the plan for Fastlane was Rollins and Strowman against Corbin and McIntyre. But now that's kind of that could be questionable.
Which kind of leads into Raw,
Mm-hmm.
something they did on Raw, which I guess we can just kind of go down the list here and just touch on a couple things.
I got thoughts on Raw. They took a huge step back,
let's
in
go.
my opinion, this week.
When I get to the point that you're like, that's the bad spot, tell me. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that.
Because you're gonna say stop the second you say
Stephanie
it.
McMahon.
Stop.
I'm waiting for it. So she came out. She did a segment with Becky. Becky ends up knocking her down and knocking her out.
The reason I didn't like this segment is because
You know it means Stephanie's going to be more involved?
I mean, well, not even that. Just the fact that like Stephanie was not playing this as evil Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, sure.
There wasn't really like we didn't have any kind of indication that she was like being sarcastic or bitchy.
Yeah, she was just being genuinely caring
She's-
for
Well,
talent.
except for like the one line.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and but like compare Monday to
Anything?
any heel promo she cuts as a heel.
Yeah.
This seemed more like like actual human Stephanie. So this almost made Becky look more unlikable for no real gain. And then we'll get more into that from Tuesday because there was stuff there, but
Oh, God. Yeah, now I want to just immediately skip ahead to something that I thought was stupid, but I promised myself we go piece by... No, you know what? Fuck it. Jeff Jarrett. Can we talk about Jeff Jarrett for a second?
yeah.
Is this where the
handily.
stop is?
Well, it's one of them.
Okay.
Because, okay.
Here's what... You want to go first? You want me to
I
go
kind of want to go
first?
first.
Okay, go first.
Because so Royal Rumble, Elias turns heel out of nowhere to like do that segment with Jeff Jarrett. Whatever, you want to go Elias heel, sure.
You're wasting
whatever.
money, but okay.
Fine, whatever. So then you have Elias versus Jeff Jarrett again, or you have them go one-on-one on Raw. Again, Elias is heel. He heals on the crowd. Jarrett comes out, does
Good nature thing. Him and Road Dogg singing together.
which, cool. Again, nostalgia act, not for me, but fine. A lot of people are happy with it.
Right.
The match happens. Road Dogg gets involved. He gets up on the apron for no reason. Elias punches him off. Jarrett uses, and then he beats Jarrett. After the match is done, Road Dogg attacks Elias from behind, which leads to the distraction of Jarrett hitting Elias from behind with the guitar after the match is done, and Elias has done nothing but defend himself. How does this make any goddamn sense?
So when we were watching Raw, and it was that segment, I remember telling Allie,
Don't look at me like I'm being unreasonable.
No, I'm on you.
100% right. Because I looked at Allie and I was like, so Elias is the good guy now? Jarrett's the heel?
But then after the end of it, the crowd loved Jarrett and Road Dogg still, and they played to them.
But okay, so fuck crowd. I fucking blame you for part of this because so Jarrett comes out, he gets cheered. Road Dogg came out, he did his intro and sort of got cheered. It was the most cringy thing I've seen in a long time. Him doing the shake, the dancing, and dropping like the '90s lingo. It was so embarrassing. It was everyone's dad coming in board shorts trying to look cool. And then Jarrett comes out. He cuts the JEFF promo, which sounds more heelish this week. Then Elias comes out and does the walk with Elias thing. The crowd cheers him. Then the crowd boos him. And like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
It's like they teleported to Canada during the segment. They came back.
Oh.
It makes no sense. And like by the end of it, I was confused. I didn't know who was the good guy or the bad guy anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not, you don't go into like a Batman movie and at the end of the movie go like, so was the Joker bad?
Yeah, Sean Murphy.
No delays.
Like 10 of our audience is gonna get that. Yeah, and like people say that there should be shades of gray. There absolutely should be, but this isn't what we're talking about.
yeah.
No.
It shouldn't be gray because they're going from one end of the color spectrum to the other, just like with no stops in between.
Right.
Like it shouldn't just be the average, like the average of your actions.
Like I'm perfectly fine with Jeff Jarrett having a small nostalgia run.
Yeah.
He still looks pretty good. He can still go in the ring.
Yeah.
He still cuts a great promo.
Someone pointed out like how pretty his punches were, like
Yeah.
at the Rumble. Like,
Really
Oh, yeah, no,
good.
he's amazing.
crisp.
He's really good. But give him a nostalgia storyline so we can cheer him. Why the back and forth stuff? They didn't do that with Kurt Angle. Angle has very much been a face since he came back. This doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what they're trying to do here, and I don't care either. That's the big thing. It's not like I'm going like, well, what's going to happen next week? Who's going to be faced next week? I don't give a shit.
That shouldn't be the hook.
So that I thought was the worst part of Raw, and that made me sad because I really want Jeff Jarrett to do something cool. I don't even like Jeff Jarrett. I don't even know why I'm defending him. Kurt Angle is depressed. He has doubt. He has depression. He has dysentery. Well,
Wait a minute.
He didn't say it, but it's the 3Ds.
it's the 3Ds.
Jesus Christ.
They set up a match between Angle. Angle, by the way, didn't announce anything.
Because he got interrupted.
He got
before could.
interrupted. So it sounded like he was going to retire, but then he didn't. He ended up teaming with Strowman.
But then they interrupted him before he could retire. Like
to tell him he should retire.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Also, dumbass thing. This actually made me madder than.
More mad?
Yeah.
No, he said madder.
No, this made
He
me
said
madder
what meant.
than the because mad like the Hatter. Than the Jarrett Strowman or Jarrett Elias thing. I couldn't think of Elias. The main event match. Kurt Angle teams with Braun Strowman against Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. That match ends. The finish of that match that was planned by a human being with a brain with Angle goes to cover Corbin. McIntyre enters the ring, assaults Angle, is then dispatched from the ring. Strowman is in the ring now as the illegal man and goes to threaten Corbin. Corbin says, "Hey, you can't touch me. You'll get disqualified." Strowman then attacks Corbin, and the referee calls for the bell for the first time in the history of a tag team match because the illegal man interfered with the match after McIntyre, in full view of the referee, broke up a 3 count.
Yeah.
I thought I was missing something. Like, there was still some sort of, like, leftover Strowman can't put his hands on Corbin
But no.
thing.
No. If there
It's
was,
just,
they didn't
no,
explain it.
There wasn't it wasn't the 5 count. It's just like, oh, well, you can't interfere. And it's
A tag team partner can't interfere with his match, you know. Yeah, I read
I
that
need to
too,
go back
and
and,
I
like,
agree
I'm
with
to-
you.
I'm
I
to-
thought I was lost.
I'm totally blanking on the actual, like, tag match that happened earlier for the number 1 contendership, that the Revival are the number 1 tag team contenders again. Cool,
Sure.
whatever.
Thanks, Heavy Machinery.
And your first name onlyness now? Tucker and Otis.
Takotis.
Odor. I'm going with Odor.
Isn't that where Billy's wrestling?
Close.
In Odor?
It's 1 town over. So yeah, like,
Down under.
I don't understand it. I wish Kurt Hawkins needs, if this wouldn't have happened if Kurt Hawkins was the referee.
I was about to say, you know, they didn't even hold the tag rope. They should have all been disqualified.
We would have at least gotten the 5 count.
I hate it when they pull that, well, we don't do this shit normally, but we're going to do it this one time bullshit.
Right, because it's convenient.
Because they need it for the story. If you can't tell a story without breaking your own, like, continuity.
It's the reason I hate time travel so much. I will believe anything you tell me, but if you're going to set these rules, you have to follow them.
Yeah, it was bad. It was embarrassingly bad.
Other stuff that I didn't
Lie to
like
me more,
about,
Vince.
a lot of stuff that other stuff I didn't like on Raw because it was mostly
the continued death of Dean Ambrose.
We'll get to that in a second because that's going to be the longer one. I will say though, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins had a cool moment. I liked that. I dug that. But it's still just.
Do you
like,
think they misspelled his name on purpose?
See, and that's the thing is, it's like that actually kind of makes me question it, because then you can use that in the promo, or they could just not care about Zack Ryder that much enough to the point that they misspelled his name and he's been with the company for 13 years.
Yeah,
which would
That's
be
all right.
Which would be heartbreaking.
That company is making him the $1,000 broski. It's fine.
That's fine. I don't like that they just kind of randomly threw Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross together because they're both crazy.
Well, Team Crazy. Yeah.
That I thought that was dumb. Hopefully that does not continue. Also, I like how it kind of shows the disparity between the 2 women's rosters of the shows, because Raw has to earn their slots for the Elimination Chamber match, but SmackDown, they're just in it.
Yeah, they're just handing them
because
out.
that's all that they can, because they have to be.
Right.
Apollo Crews had a weird interaction with Drake Maverick and Razor, but only Razor. So why is unless they're going to lead to it, like Apollo has to find a partner to go up against AOP? That was weird. Also, remember, like, what was it, 3 weeks ago when he was getting the better of Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush? Mm-hmm. What happened? I guess, okay, well, nope, now it's Balor.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Finn Balor and Lio Rush had a match. I remember we were all like, oh, I can't wait for that match. I heard it was there.
I didn't see it.
Heard it was okay.
Yeah. Well, and it probably lasted like 5 minutes, that they didn't really get a chance to really do a lot of the stuff that they are both very capable of.
Yep.
And then, the last thing was that Alexa Bliss, Moment of Bliss segment with EC3. He still doesn't talk. Alexa Bliss is super horny for EC3, which, I mean, to be fair,
Who wouldn't be?
Look at him.
We've seen him up close.
Yeah, he's got
The
that
muscles.
real large bank account.
Yeah.
Nia Jax interrupts. Dean Ambrose then interrupts, which his part was funny, where he's like, you know, it wouldn't be the first time a woman has been affected by my raw sexual magnetism, but you have to stop it. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. Then he's like, who's this guy? Like that, you know, but then like the match it felt like it didn't really do anything. Like, okay, EC3 had the match, he beat Dean Ambrose, but
It was there.
Who cares? It wasn't long enough to really build any sort of drama. It didn't feel very memorable. It just felt like, oh, this is that kind of
It was a throwaway segment.
meaningless
Yeah.
win that we're going to give to an up-and-coming person that we want to take seriously, but we're not letting talk, even though he is a phenomenal promo.
Right.
So
I thought it was funny. Dean Ambrose asked, "Why EC3? Where's EC1 and 2?" I was hoping he would say something like, "Well, on Impact, I was Dixie Carter's."
He did tweet and say that EC1, like EC2 was watching at home, EC1 was like, but he answered it, but it was funny because
Alexa Bliss would be trying to make EC4.
Yep, because he's super funny. Renee Young saying EC3 got lucky tonight. Yeah, and it might not be the only time. Corey Graves.
God damn.
Jesus.
Makes me miss Mark Madden. Said no one ever.
But yeah, so that was.
Have I ever told you who my least favorite announcer in the history of life is?
Mark Madden.
Mark fucking Madden. Oh, I couldn't stand him.
Is that his Christian middle name?
He's not a Christian. He's a hellspawn from Satan's asshole.
God damn. Is that where you're going to start being billed from?
From Satan's asshole.
Bobby Clubs will
House
say it.
100.
And then we had SmackDown. SmackDown I thought was considerably better. And it started
Not a shocking sentence to say.
No, not usually. Charlotte had a moment with Triple H and Becky that was really good. Becky continued her war against the McMahon-Helmsley regime.
Which again, like, doesn't make a lot of sense because now we're getting Papa H.
Yeah.
Except which I thought kind of didn't cut the legs out from underneath Becky and like I don't think it's really going to cost her anything, but that like he had a very interesting point of like, no, you know what? I think you are afraid. I think that's why you don't want to go see a doctor, not because you can't wrestle, but because they will clear you. And then you won't have excuses. I think that's a super interesting dynamic, but then she just walked away.
It kind of feels like you're cutting the legs off of, you're cutting the legs out from Becky without her getting a proper response.
Because that's very unlike the man character.
Right.
That she wouldn't just
no one
let
would
that
challenge
go.
Stone Cold to a fight and he backs down and walks away.
Right.
You know?
So
and that's clearly what they're trying to do with Becky.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Could they be any more trying to do that with Becky?
What is up with you and the Chandler bit?
Because you make him watch Friends.
But I don't.
This is kind of your fault. Well,
nah, that's on you.
Not how he tells it. So I mean, this is one of those like we just need to wait and see how this plays out because if this does like, I don't know, it could be really interesting. This could also just be nope. All right, well she's not going to the doctor. So now the main event, Charlotte versus Ronda.
So I'm reading the results on SmackDown because I haven't actually read like the entire thing, and I don't know who's doing the report on this, but it's on 411 Mania, and it gets to a part where it says Paige is here to show us a clip of her new movie, and then it follows up with no, not that one, the other one. Are you fucking kidding me?
What a piece of shit.
That's something we're making jokes about still? Like Jesus Christ.
I mean, we aren't.
Just that irritated me.
That was also really weird, and like she just kind of shows up like, "Hey, watch my movie," and then nothing else happens. Like she doesn't do anything else.
She should come in screaming, "Buy my movie!" and like flip the tables.
Oh God,
rip off Billy Hills.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd watch it. Daniel Bryan cut another promo about being the Planet's champion. I still dig it. I know there's apparently a group of people that feel like it's just kind of stalling.
I think it's cool.
But I think it's funny. I like it. I like that they brought in Rowan as his bodyguard. I wish that they didn't go straight to now that he has the bodyguard. He's a chicken shit.
Right.
heel.
Yeah. As they often.
Often. Jeez, Enzo.
Shannon Young from Boston.
Consensual penis.
I'm done. I'm done.
So now that he's got the bodyguard, he's the chicken shit. I'm not thrilled about that, but the Elimination Chamber match is going to be disgusting.
Yeah.
Because that's just stacked of people who are stupid good.
I know Samoa Joe's not going to win. I really want him to finally.
Every time.
Alec, who do you want to win?
Who's in it?
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Mustafa Ali, and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I just like the who's in it.
So Samoa Joe.
Mid-yawn.
Yeah, Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I knew Samoa Joe was our answer.
Yeah.
Did you ever think we would get a Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan match?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
The second they signed Hardy.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought maybe you didn't. When I was a kid in the early aughts, I didn't think we'd ever see
Also,
that
I feel like
match.
they've had a match before. They were in Impact at the same time. 2 different times.
Daniel Bryan?
Daniel Bryan was on Impact?
My brain went to Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. I am
Oh,
so sorry.
Well, now I feel a little better.
Yeah, no, that was my
Like,
screw
holy
up.
shit, I must have missed that.
It's like, I did
Must have been
too.
hanging out with Punk in that like 2 weeks he was there.
That was my fault. That was on me.
Usos are going to have a Mick Miz TV segment next week. I just like that it's the Mick Miz
The
TV.
McMiz,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Mick Miz TV.
Oh, I want some McDonald's.
Rusev and Nakamura beat the Good Brothers.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm shocked. Mandy Rose
I
and
don't know
Sonya
if-
Deville beat a couple of other tag teams. And the reason I want to mention that is because I saw another, I think it was also for One Mania. So Mandy Rose won, and they said, big win for Mandy Rose, even especially during Black History Month. And I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with it?
I think because
Naomi was in the match?
I think because she beat me at Naomi, yeah.
You guys are really stretched. I'm going to start calling you Mr. Fantastic.
What
and then I'll
is-
sue you.
I was going to say Evil Knievel because that was a leap.
There's
Good too.
Because, so the SmackDown teams it's going to be the Iconics, Naomi and Carmella, and Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. But they, gave themselves a name, and it's Fire and Passion, I think?
Oh, wait, I just saw it.
Fire and Drive?
Damn it, hold on. I'm heading there. I just saw it.
Jesus Christ.
Let me see if it's on
This
the...
is my life now.
No, I'm going to get there first.
No, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, it's not on Wikipedia. So.
Oh, it's not on here anymore. I saw it earlier.
But yeah, but I remember kind of digging it, and I like that they're actually giving themselves a name to really feel like a team.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's and granted, Boston Hug Connection.
Hate it.
Oh, really?
I don't like it. Boston Hug Connection. That's no. I hated the Rock and Sock Connection. I hated Rock and Socket Robots. I don't like any of that shit. I like the Iconics.
Well, now I know you're just lying.
I like the Iconics. I want them to win. Their backstage promo, I saw it on Botchamania, but when they went backstage
after the Royal Rumble.
Yes, and them tearing into I forget her name, but
I think it was Charlie Caruso.
Oh my God, that was one of the funniest things, and they're so funny and talented. Let them just be them, Lord. Stop trying to make them like you, Dad. All right, I think that's it. I'd say we cover CCW, but you know what? It's like an hour and 20 minutes in.
Shit, is it?
Yeah, and I'm hungry.
Yeah, I am too.
So we're going to bounce out of here. The point is, CCW's New Year's Chaos was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
I want to talk more about it because it was kind of like I felt like in a lot of ways it was my night. I came out for once feeling like special.
The belle of the ball.
Yes. But that would be taken away from Dalton's incredible hardcore
whooping
match that really scares the shit out of us. And just all the great matches. Swoggle was there. That was a lot of fun. I had a conversation with him about the Muppets. That may be my moment of the year in 2019. Early. I'm calling it early.
He's going to try to get that
It's
as
all
the
downhill from here.
CCW moment of the year. He's like, whenever I talk to Swoggle
Me
about
talking to
Muppets,
Swoggle about the Muppets. It's clearly CCW.
I'm going to be like, what?
It was a fantastic show. We got another one coming up on the 23rd of February. This one is One Night Riot 2. There's a big Riot Rumble match, which is a 20-man over-the-top battle royal. Dalton is teaming up with Farmer Billy Hills to go against Hollis Giroux and Justin the Jew Smart. It's just going to be a good show.
Yeah.
LA Hustlers versus the White Shirts. We'll talk about more in the upcoming weeks. Until then, we're going to get out of here. I do want to mention one last thing. Asa plugged his thing. I'm going to plug my thing. If you own WWE 2K19 and you have an Xbox One, look for CCW in the hashtags. You can now download the official Mr. 100 Shannon Young Creative Wrestler and put him, and you'll never lose a match. Put me as a manager, and you'll never lose another match in WWE or whatever. All right, that's it. Bye. Asa, go.
Facebook.com/Podzilla1985. Give us a like. Talk to us. Interact with us. Share us with your friends.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
We won't do that again. Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. $1 gets you the pre-shows, which are a lot of fun, off the cuff, just BSing before the show
If you like
actually
the
starts.
chicken masturbator stuff,
You'll love the pre-shows.
Or are we talking
And
about
it's
wrestling?
only $1. What's the other? Podzilla1985.com
That's
is the
the
website.
ticket.
You can go through, listen to older episodes, go back, listen to our prediction episodes, see how wrong we were about stuff or how right we were. I don't remember. We don't keep track anymore.
no.
And then
We do too
also
much.
we're working on revamping the Twitter, twitter.com/Podzilla1985.
I want to give an applause to our social media team who's taking the taking the lead on this. They're really doing a good job.
So yeah, we're gonna be
Not a joke.
We're gonna be posting
Except
more
there's, like, one
on
guy.
Twitter and Facebook just to kind of do more interactable stuff. Again, it's not just going to be hey, we're asking questions into the ether. It's just going to be hey, this is this is stuff that we're doing.
To be fair, we stopped caring about what you guys want to talk about.
No.
And now we're just going to show you
No.
what we're doing.
No.
So I might take a picture of me eating pot roast tonight and be like, this is what Mr. 100 did tonight.
I'm changing the password.
Damn it.
Changing all the passwords.
I don't know
Wait,
the password.
I don't know the passwords.
Don't worry about it.
We know what kind of videos you'd post. Colonel Sanders.
Here's an unboxing video.
Yeah.
Let's watch Backyard Scientist blow himself up, but he's got goggles on, so it's safe.
I assumed the unboxing video would be opening a box of...
No, chicken nuggets. End the show. Edit it to where it was in chicken nuggets.
Okay, so should I stop it now?
Yeah.
No, but
like,
just keep.
I mean, you can just stop whenever. Because
Jesus Christ.